Carey. I'm author of the Eve trilogy.
And I'm Amy Fellner Dominy. I'm author of OMG, and my next book is Audition and Subtraction.
And we're just talking a little bit about YA fiction today. The first question someone asked us was, what did your parents think when you decided to be a writer?
Well, I was pretty lucky that my parents were really supportive, and in fact, when I was 13, I remember my dad came to me and he said, you know, this story you wrote, I think it's pretty good, and if you want to type this up, I think we should submit it. So I'm like, oh my God, I'm a rock star. So I did, I typed it up, and we sent it out to American Girl magazine. And so that was my first submission, age 13, and that was also my first rejection.
Oh.
Age 13, American Girl didn't even waste a full sheet of paper on me.
Oh,
just a little half, thank you. But so it was great though, because really from then on, I was kind of inspired to keep going, and they were really supportive. So how about you?
My parents were a little nervous. Sorry, Mom. Sorry, Dad. So I quit my job in the middle of the recession, which I was working as an editor in New York City, and I decided I really wanted to make the jump to writing. I had always wanted to be a writer, and my parents were very supportive in general. Were a little nervous about me quitting my job in the middle of the recession. But I think once I had that first book, and they saw kind of that I was on my way and that I was doing it with some level of success, they kind of calmed down, and now they're really my biggest fans. They read everything I write, so.
And it was probably their idea in the first place.
Yeah.
Right, once I was that,
So now we're going to talk about what inspires us as writers. You know, where do we get our inspiration from?
So, yeah, that's kind of a crazy, big giant question. I always sort of start with, like, there's sort of the black and the white in the world, and then there's that middle gray sort of part where it's like, this is right or this is wrong, but then what if you get in that situation and you're not sure, like, what would I do, or what should I do, or how did that person just respond to that? Like, those sort of what ifs are always the kind of things that inspire me to want to kind of figure out. It's like the question has no answer, and so I got to write a whole book to figure out what that answer might be, and sometimes there never is one, but that's kind of what gets me going.
Yeah, and it is a hard question, because it's like, what inspires you? There's so many things, and it feels like there's so many things that go into writing a novel, that it's like you're picking things from here and this part of your life and that part of your life, and maybe like a really great book you read that made you feel something or ask a certain question. But I know for me, for the Eve series, when I wrote it, I had just moved to LA, and I didn't really know anybody. I had spent my whole life in New York, and I got to LA, and everybody was a stranger, and it was really exciting, but it was also terrifying. So there's a lot of that in the first book, and you can definitely feel it. And also the landscape of California is so different, and that's where the Eve book is set. So, the mountains and the ocean are all, like, she goes to San Francisco at one point. There's all these different things that were a part of my life while I was writing the book. So that's kind of this specific series. That's where.
So where are you going to move next?
Yeah, right.